Вибачте, ми вже будемо починати. Починаємо? Так, починаємо. Шановні колеги, ми продовжуємо роботу. Тема
Dear colleagues, we continue our working day, and topic is Department of Security Police results of activity 2016. Sergiy Kiforuk, head of the Department of Security Police, Police General of third rank, Viktor Veklych, Deputy Chief of the Department of Security Police, and unfortunately, one more colleague have the meeting with the minister. That's why he won't attend the press conference. First, Sergiy Kiforuk is given the floor. The results of work of security police in 2016. If we are speaking about figures, we believe that we have positive trend. This year, we had an increase in the number of flats that we got, and at the start of the year we had 116,000 flats under our protection, and now we have 122,000 flats that we protect, so 5% increase. And in the beginning of 2016 we had 160,000, and in 2017 this figure is more than 186,000. So 30,000 or 43% rise. So there is an increase of the volume of our services, and the service is needed by the consumers. Consumers address us, and this demand is satisfied. As of technical part of security of all these flats are guarded through 50 monitor devices, 6,000 flats per monitoring service in order to have good control and to efficiently respond any challenge. In 2016, there was more than 1 million calls, and we came to the places. These were 430 teams, and they did everything possible to stop the violations of law. We had 1,200,000 calls, and they had 300,000 visits when there was an alarm, and the team came and stopped the violations. And from the overall number, about 300,000 of all the calls, 9,000 were the attempt to break to the secured facilities. 9,700 people were detained, so 90% of cases, these attempts of intrusion, they are stopped on site. So to prevent violations, police establish alarm buttons in public places. The number of such buttons increased, and now it's is 9,800 at the beginning of 2017. These buttons are established in facilities, also at bus stops and public places. They have a proper warning. The citizens understand what it is, what this button is, and in the case something happens, anyone can address and can use this button and to call security police. And this allows to stop violations at once in an efficient way. And also we implemented other measures to increase efficiency of the work of the security police. So the developers of security equipment on our order, they created devices that have additional functions. And we believe that these functions will be needed by for the customers. So this is a remote control. You can connect a gadget with proper software that will allow to the customer to remotely put the facility on security surveillance and to put it out of surveillance also in a remote mode. So these functions were not envisaged by previous types of devices. So this can be putting the facility on surveillance. For example, child, for example, comes to the house, and when the child leaves the house, all other actions are carried out directly by parents. This allows to introduce new functions that are realized in the equipment, but were not provided to customers, but it will be done in the nearest future. We tested the equipment and they proved all the characteristics and they are certified, and we believe that this will allow to increase security and also will introduce additional functions that will allow to make the use of the system more better for the consumers. Thank you. Now the floor is given to Mr. Veklych.
Good afternoon. As concerns the activities of the Department of Security Police in Kyiv in 2016, I would like to mention that in general, the response teams conducted 54,000 response visits, and they detained 770 persons who were alleged criminals. In the capital, in the daytime, 39 teams of response are on guard and 37 teams in the nighttime. Last year was rather intensive and positive. We have much work to do, and lots of objects were guarded, where physical property was guarded. 2,200 new objects were put into service and now are guarded, and 6,000 places where we got physical property, tangibles of individuals. We work in a centralized system of the national police. Our teams respond to special hotline messages 102 600 response visits were conducted, 175 criminal acts were prevented last year. Thanks to such response, we prevent also street crime. Alarm buttons are installed in public places. Last year the increment was plus 132 alarm buttons. They are located in entertainment facilities, on the stairs, and in other places. In total, 571 visits to respond to alarm buttons calls they were conducted, and 33 criminal acts were prevented. I would like to mention that in total last year, 7,755 apartment robberies took place in Kyiv. This is saying that the crime situation is tense in the capital. And the owners of apartments, they should think over about security of their property, and an efficient method is to install security alarms units in the apartments. And I would like to mention that jointly with Kyiv Municipal Administration, we started pilot project to engage entrances and stairs of the buildings and also premises where meters of energy and district heating meters they are stolen by criminals. This is a trend today. Now we got 11 buildings to prevent such crimes, where security units have already been installed, and the mentioned meters are guarded now. Thank you for your attention, and please ask questions. I would like to add about statistics about apartment robberies in Kyiv and in the country. We have negative trends, negative dynamics. Intrusions number has been increasing. In 2016 we have the number of apartment intrusions and stealings 29,600. This is about 40% increase to prevent property stealing. The security police launched call center. It is 24 hours call center which receive calls and send response teams. Within 1 hour, the information received by a call center operator, it is sent to relevant contractors, to regional and on-site departments, offices, and the contact the flat owner, and they decide when and how to install security units. They decide on the budget and installation. The period between application and installation is between 2 to 3 days, sometimes even within 1 day. The cost of such services: subscribers' fee for security guarding is very competitive on the market of these services. The cost of guarding the apartment starts with 150 hryvnias monthly, and security of the house, which are larger than apartments, starts with 200 to 120 hryvnias, depending on the unit, depending on the team. Okay, now questions. Inter TV channel. As I have question about transfer from cable to wireless surveillance systems. I know that your monitoring units, your central guard consoles, they are more now of wireless type. Thank you for your question. The initiative of these sections have been initiated in response to the situation as it is. Ukr company decided to modernize, to upgrade their systems, replacing copper cables which runs from exchange stations. They replace them with fiber optic cables. This makes a system of guarding as it is inefficient, because the installed equipment will not be in use, and new equipment should be placed in the places which would be named by the telecommunications operator. These activities on development and installation of equipment, they are costly, and these costs, they will be included into the service costs, so the cost of services will rise from 150 twice to 300 hryvnias. This will make this service non-competitive. To avoid such consequences, we applied the telecommunications operator in 2015 and 2016, but they didn't respond in any way to our letters. If we leave the situation as it is, then the service might not be provided. So this is not our initiative. We are forced to do so to replace cable units with wireless ones. So before upgrading some systems, all results, all consequences should be considered. This year, the working group it does not resolve the matter at source, so clients are offered how to get this service. This service includes not replacement of devices. 2/3 of devices could be reprogrammed and reinstalled. We are unwilling to use the situation in which we are. We would like to save the to preserve the opportunity to provide services. So everything anyway, all costs will be placed on customers. Special equipment, additional equipment will be installed, and customers will pay for this equipment. We maintain subscribers' fee at the level as it is. Also, we can provide loans, but this way the access to services will be limited, and not all customers could use our services. Suren Manukyan, Kyiv оперативный media source. Do you have car protection services, car guarding? Yes, we have a service of surveillance of cars. We install relevant technical devices into cars which use GPS satellite systems and transmit information to our consoles. And we can see in real-time mode where such a car or truck is located in every moment of time. We can also install alarm buttons and use them. They can be used when the need be. When alarm signal is received by an operator in our call center, this operator transfers information to fast response team close to this object, and the operator coordinates team so that they arrive and find out what happened at client's place. The cost of equiping the car with guarding is 4,500 hryvnias, and subscribers' fee depends on the time of surveillance. Tentatively, it is 400 to 600 hryvnias. Thank you, colleagues. Do you have any questions? We have no questions, so at the end of the briefing, we wish you every success.
Ну, це те, про що казалось раніше. Ось в якості прикладу взяти один із приладів. В ньому є, звичайно, прилад, акумулятор безперебійного живлення, резервне живлення, клавіатура.
So we present a device here. There is a block of radio transmitters, mechanical relays, and you can see how this object is put on surveillance and put out of surveillance, and what is done. You can see it through this gadget. It can be done in a remote mode. Please comment on this. So we see all the areas that are safeguarded, and we see that this facility is now under surveillance, and now we see that we put it off surveillance. So by one click, after we have confirmation, and there is a response. So this information goes to the equipment, monitoring equipment, and then this information goes to the customer on his gadget. So now we see that we got information, and also we can demonstrate how warning signs are obtained. So we see that there was an alarm in the facility that was safeguarded. You see radio transmitter that is connected to surveillance equipment, and also when there is movement in the facility, so it provides the signal to the device, and it creates a package of communication, and the information is provided to the surveillance equipment, and the operator responds and provides this information, in this case, to the team. And the customer can see all this in real mode. He can see what is going on in the facility. And knowing the statistics, he doesn't ask anyone what happened when. He can see this information, and he can use this information. And in a remote mode, this is not just some phone, any phone, but this is a phone where the information is provided from surveillance equipment. So the customer can get this information on his device. In this case, there are transmitters that provide alert or norm signal through the communication means. There can be video camera included, and 5 or 7 years ago there were pieces of equipment introduced. They provide MMS, and they can provide this information, and this service is not widespread because it is needed by consumers who when they want to see what is going on in their facility, if the camera is in the flat or in the office, customers do not want anyone else to see what is going on. So also this equipment has an advantage that the customers can benefit from. That the majority of pieces of equipment that are used nowadays, they choose one of the two variants, one of the two options. These are devices that are for centralized systems, and that are not for centralized systems, to provide information to some phone, to consumer. And when the customer comes and says that I would like to use this service, not to get this information on my phone, but to provide this information to the police. So in this case, the device is changed, and it's not really correct. And this equipment solved this problem. It can work in autonomous mode, and the customer can control what he needs, or it can be some surveillance system, some garage cooperative, for example. If the device itself, this device, it costs about 3,200, and this will cost about 4,000. So the price of the services won't go up significantly. And if these devices are really needed, so the price will can even go down.